Previously on the RX7 Spirit R build, we caught up with Promaz Automotive, who had stripped the 13B engine, machined and ported it, and then reassembled it for a new Bridgeport Pulse. In this installment, the team will get it up and running and onto the dyno. So this little keg's come up a treat, Simon.
Yeah, it looks nice.
We're just about to drop it in.
Yeah, with the straps on it and load it in.
So an internal slave, Simon, that's something you guys have been doing for a long time,
Yeah, we've been doing it quite a while. On this application, most people will know they're a pull type clutch. So they're not your normal clutch, let's say, where you push your pedal and the slave's thrust bearing, pushes against the pressure plate. In this way, it works the opposite way.
Okay.
It pulls on the pressure plate and disengages the clutch plate. So it's a different design. All the thrust bearing carriers are getting old and they crack and they break, and you know, over the years people have been doing all sorts of conversions from pull to push. Well, we just done an internal slave like a late model car does. Billet Pro make them for us. They bolt straight up to the gearbox. You know, you've got more of an option as well. Yeah. Clutch plate and pressure plate wise.
So if you're replacing a clutch or pulling the gearbox, it's probably a good idea to look at doing it then.
Oh, 100%, definitely. Yeah. And the pedal feels like a Corolla clutch. Okay. Not that many Corollas have got manuals in them these days, but it's nice and light.
Yeah, okay.
So you can run a really heavy duty pressure plate. Now we've gone back to a push type clutch. These are an Exity Japanese pressure plate that we get specifically done, and they perform quite well. I feel it's the best single plate kit on the market. A lot of people put twin plates and all that sort of stuff, but the problem is a bit harsher to drive on the road, and it puts a lot more pressure on the drive line.
They can get a bit noisy too.
They do, yeah. I mean, the Exity ones aren't noisy. They're pretty good. Yeah. Direct clutch are pretty good also. Yeah, the drive line more. So you'd rather, you know, it's probably the best single plate and allow it to slip a little bit just to take a bit of pressure off the drive line.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So yeah, it's fine if you can make all this power, it's just making sure all the rest of the drive line can handle it. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to blow the gearbox. Then after the gearbox, it's your drive shafts, and then your hubs, and then your center. So it just keeps going on and on. Yeah. So the clutch saves a lot of that.
Gee, that went in easy.
Went in very easy. It makes it a bit easier that there's no turbo and that on there. This is getting a Garrett Advancing Motion G42, 1200 compact.
Oh yeah.
So it's a nice street turbo. Other people think, oh, that's too big, but it's
not too big on a Mazda, is it?
No, on a rotary, it's a beauty. It's a perfect turbo. They are a little bit laggy, but you need them a bit laggy for the street. Like,
yeah, I know.
I find, but they're not too laggy like you would in the old days with the older big.
The thought of running a 1200 horsepower capable turbo 10 years ago would just be ridiculous on a road car.
Yeah, definitely. But with a rotary, because it flows so much, that it ends up overspinning that turbo as such, where compared to a piston motor, it'll use that more efficiently. So that's where they can get to the 1200 horsepower. But on a rotary...
You'd never make 1200 horsepower, would you? No, not a chance.
No. But yeah, you'd make 700 at the wheels pretty easily, so about the 820 mark.
So what size exhaust housing
on
would that?
Efficient boost, sorry?
What size exhaust housing would that run?
We use different exhaust housings more to suit the customer's needs. So yeah, specifically, we talk to the customer, see what they want out of it, and we've chosen the 1200 compact here. So exhaust housings, everyone asks, what size exhaust housing? It all depends on your engine, your porting, also, you know, what you want out of it. And keep in mind, the bigger the exhaust housing, the better for the engine. It takes the back pressure off the engine. But yeah, more lag.
And you were saying this is going to get a water-to-air intercooler? Yeah,
this is a water-to-air, Plasma Man water-to-air intercooler, rated 1000 horsepower.
Was that already on the car?
Yeah, it was already on the car. We'll clean it all up and put it all back on and try and make everything else around it look as good as the engine.
Yeah. I noticed there's a new loom over there, Simon.
Fabian from Hot Wires has done an amazing job making us some looms for the FDs and using a FuelTech FT550. But now the customer's chosen to go to the FT600.
Oh yeah, so this is a specific loom for an FD?
Yeah,
okay.
So we can supply you a FD Series 8 plug-in, complete plug-in loom.
That's awesome. So you're not having to worry about issues you have with like 25-year-old wiring?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So give us a call, and Hot Wires specifically make them for us.
Yep.
And yeah, they're a beautiful loom. We can send them all over the world. Plug in a FuelTech and off you go, and enjoy driving.
With the engine installation a breeze, it was time to get the car into the fabrication shop. While just about everything from the last setup is being upgraded, an improved version of the existing water-to-air intercooler will remain. These are not a common sight on an FD. Here the guys are fabbing up a new exhaust system. The finished engine bay has come up a treat. Time to fire it up for initial checks and dyno tuning. Who doesn't love that rotary brap? Simon, we've just come off the dyno.
Yep.
Near on 500 horsepower at the wheels. It's pretty much what you'd expect in a setup like this, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's on pump 98 fuel.
Yep.
It's on conservative boost. It's just a street car that you can go out and enjoy.
When you say conservative boost, you'd be on less than 20 PSI.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's on around the 17, 18 pound of boost.
That doesn't seem like much in today's terms at all.
And these turbos, they start waking up at 25, 30 pound of boost.
Yeah.
You could get a smaller turbo that will perform a bit better than what this will, but this will outperform it when you get into the higher boost.
Future-proofing the setup.
So once we go to the E85 and we put on 30, 35 pound, that's when it really wake up.
Yeah. Now you've modified, I think one time I came here, I counted 11 FDs in your workshop, and I think there was 3 Spirit Rs. Yeah,
we do a lot of Spirit Rs, and a lot of people want to go the whole hog with them.
Yeah.
And they want power.
Yeah.
They want power. They want them to look good.
I love modified cars. I don't know how you can hop back in a stock one and say I'd rather drive that.
Yeah. Look, each to their own.
Each
to their own. There's people that want to just, if they've got a bolt that's not right, they'll bring it in and say, just make it right. And I've had plenty of customers do that. Over the years, they've had the cars for a long time, and other workshops have done little mods here and there, and then we've put it back to factory. But there's some customers that come in and see what we've modified and go, that's what I want. I want something modified, and we make it to suit their own colours, porting.
This is actually a perfect street setup because it's not out of control power.
No.
Like, it's perfect for this chassis, this car, and you can't really use much more than this, can you? On road tyres.
You won't use it.
No.
Definitely won't use it. Not only the tyres, but you only go so much stretch of road. A lot of people just look for the numbers on the dyno, but when you really jump into the car and feel the power, you go, wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really good. I mean, we make 1,500 horsepower with a 13B in our drag cars. So, you know, there's packages to suit everybody.
How did you find I haven't seen too many Mazdas or FDs with a water-to-air.
Yeah, so this came into us with a water-to-air, and we said, we'll leave it on. And yeah, it performs quite well, keeps the intake temperatures quite low. It's a good little street package. And the piping's relatively close to the engine, which is good. It's got a Garrett 1200 horsepower compact turbocharger on it, their new G42, and it's performing well.
Very popular turbo. This suits not just rotaries, but a range of, I've seen them on a lot of 6-cylinders.
Yeah, look, they make a lot more power on a 6-cylinder because, yeah, the rotary seems to wind them up too quick. So, as I said before, we could get a smaller turbo and it'd come up a lot quicker, do everything a lot quicker. Problem is, it'll run out a lot quicker. And that's what you find that where their efficiency is. Yeah. And as I said, with this package, we can just keep going and going and going. You know, as long as we've got the fuel system there, which we have, and we can just keep putting more into it. We'd have to introduce maybe a couple more injectors on the 85.
Are you running water injection on this?
Yes, we're running water injection.
Yep.
You know, it's just a safety blanket for the 98 fuel. Again, that we're restricted by the 98 fuel. That's the whole issue there. I mean, people can go and they run 18 pound with no methanol injection, and this guy, as I said, it came from another shop and it was running 18 pound, no methanol injected, no nothing. When we pulled the engine down...
Oh, we saw that earlier.
We saw it earlier.
Yeah,
had some massive dents in the rotor.
Yeah, there was a lot of action happening inside the
engine. A lot of action. And people go, oh, you can make heaps more. Yeah, we can.
It's not about heaps more. And like, the older you get, you just want your car... You just want to hop in it and drive it. Yep. You don't want to be fretting that, is it going to leave me on the side of the road today? You just want it reliable.
Yeah, and 500 horsepower is about... Well, maybe people argue with me, but it's got to be 600 flywheel horsepower. In thereabouts, let's say. It's a lot of power for a little engine on that sort of boost. And as I said, it will feel linear on the road. It'll come on relatively quick for the size of the turbo, relatively quick, but have plenty of steam.
So this is running a bunch of fuel tech gear, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's got fuel tech FT600. We've mounted on the steering column. Some people like them in different positions. Ryan's opted to go for the steering column. It's nice and easy. It's right in his vision. Everything's there displayed. And then plus, if he does want to revert it back to factory, he can unplug it. And he's already purchased the top steering column shroud. So it's nice and simple. Everything's right there, touchscreen. Obviously runs internal boost control through the fuel tech. Wideband nano closed loop system. We run basically everything through the fuel tech. We're also running a lot of turbo smart gear, blow off valve, wastegate, controls the boost beautifully.
The fuel techs are renowned to hold pretty nice boosts, aren't they?
Yeah, it's very and you've got full control of it. Yeah. So if you want to run boost per gear, any sort of configuration that you want to do with your boost, off your two-step, off your gear position, whatever you want to do, you can program it to suit, which is good. Yeah, it's very flexible. The first thing that breaks on these is the drive shafts. So the gearbox will go, the drive shafts will go, and then the hubs will go.
So it just keeps
everything
working its way back.
From the flywheel onwards will start smashing with this power in.
Well, that's a good point, isn't it? Yeah. With those fixed Recaros, this is actually set up perfect as like a weekend track car.
Oh,
that's what I'd use.
Yeah, definitely.
Personally. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd probably go maybe, if you're doing track work, you'd probably go a bit smaller turbo, get you out of the corners a bit quicker.
Yeah, true.
But the smaller turbo is not going to give you that great feel when you're coming onto a freeway, let's say, and you want to really give it some. Yeah. It all depends on what people want. So we've got a package outside that has got a smaller turbo where it feels a little bit better down low, but this one just keeps pulling and pulling and pulling. They're different. And it's just got the next size, basically the next size down turbo.
Like a 35, is it?
Yeah, 35, 1050. Yeah. Where this is a 42, 1200. Yeah. So not much difference in the power range. But you can feel this is a lot bigger turbocharger, and it wants to just keep pulling. And this makes easier, lower boost power than the 1050.
Yeah. Oh, it's impressive how much power cars make now. That's no boost. That's most factory turbo cars now run more boost than that
Yeah.
out of the factory. Like it's nothing.
Yeah, well, with rotaries, I like to keep it at about, 12 to 14, up to 15 pound on 98. And if they do a water method system, then we can bring them up to 17, 18 safely. And I've stretched them to 20, 22.
Yeah. Well, I reckon time to give the keys back to Ryan and
Yeah, you can get it out on the road and you can go for a drive with him and have a cruise and see what he feels.
don't forget to order your track merchandise. We've got an awesome new 25 years of full boost. Yes, that's right, 25 years we've been doing this. Old school boost gauge. We've got these in t-shirts and hoodies, so get on it at shop.fullboost.com.au. In our next and final instalment in this series, we catch up with owner Ryan for some background on the build and his on-road driving impressions.